Here we go. And bad news for vampire games. Bloodlines 3 will be done by someone else. Paradox is done with Vampires the Masquerade after Bloodlines 2 debacle. I never like the word debacle when it comes to gaming. Paradox Interactive seems ready to be done with Vampire the Masquerade and with RPGs in general with Deputy CEO Matthias, that's Lilja. Robert Lilja. Okay. Telling PC Gamer that any potential Bloodlines 3 will be done by someone else. Oh. Lilja opened up about Bloodlines 2 development in the course of an unusually frank interview. Ooh, unusually frank. That'd be a good name for like a comedy movie about somebody named Frank. Unusually frank. Be like artsy a little bit. Yeah. Frank itself part of a media tour seemingly designed to show how Paradox was being reset after a string of problematic releases and reports of a toxic work culture. God. Dude, I got to tell you, for anybody working in a place, nobody in this chat can say they worked at a place that was not toxic at one point or another by today's definition of the term. You ever get into a disagreement with somebody? Toxic work environment. You ever have somebody argue with you? Toxic work environment. You ever have a customer be obnoxious? Toxic work environment. You ever have a manager tell you to come in on your day off? Toxic work environment. I can't work here anymore. Nobody ever had a job that wasn't. I work for myself and it's a toxic work environment. Do you realize how hard we are on ourselves? The grueling hours. It's insane. I would quit if I could. But I'm chained to a desk. Can't do it. Everything is toxic at this point. Exactly. So there's nobody who has, who has a really nice job that's not toxic? Probably Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon. Because if and Elon might be considered toxic at this point. I don't know him personally. Billionaires, because nobody's yelling at them. Nobody's telling them what to do. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Give yourself a raise. I can't even do that. It's not in the budget. If anything, I got to cut my pay. I got to work more hours now and cut my pay. Yeah, imagine. Freaking toxic work environment, bruh. But the thing is, it's like, I hate the term toxic work environment because you have one disagreement and everyone's going to HR. This is such a toxic and stressful work environment because you had one disagreement with a coworker. And the problem is nobody ever taught you to have disagreements with somebody and be able to walk away and rationalize it properly and get through a conversation without breaking down into tears and having a tantrum in the corner. That's why it's toxic to you, because you don't know how to process Dude, I can't deal with the mental deficiencies of somebody who can't process emotions. I cannot do that. I can't sit there and be like, oh, okay. You don't want to talk about it because it might hurt your feelings. Well, okay, I guess we'll let the issue be a non-issue then. Sorry, everyone else, we can't fix this problem because this person's upset about it. Yeah, but the water heater is broken and all the hot water's leaking out, scalding our feet. I know, but they don't want to talk about it. They had a bad experience with a plumber, so we can't do anything about that. So, I don't know. Everybody hop up on your desks. The hell out of here. I wouldn't even know what to do with that. Because if you hire somebody like that, if you're a business, you can't even fire somebody like that because then it becomes an issue. Unless you're in a right to work state where it's just like, well, you know what? You can't do your job because you're upset. Get the hell out. And that's kind of 50-50 for me. I kind of agree with it, and yet I don't agree with it. So it's case by case. But it's really just, it's frustrating that nobody has been taught to process and have dialogue, and everyone can be angry and process and have a conversation. I mean, online, people are bickering all the time. They're not necessarily having logical conversations or intelligent conversations, but they do know how to vent, is what I'm saying. But I think real world, a lot of people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to process. They don't know how to deal with conflict because they grew up in a safe space. I've said it numerous times. It's like being exposed to germs. You have to build up a tolerance. Toxicity is the same way. You got to build up a tolerance. This is why we can have people on various platforms tell us to go delete ourselves and us just be like, yeah, whatever. Not even joking. There's numerous things. And we're just like, yeah, whatever. What am I going to do? I'm going to listen to you? You get out of here. You know, whatever. You know, you got to have thicker skin, especially on the internet, and especially in a workplace, especially with customers. If you deal with customers, you got to have rhino skin, bro. It is not in our strategic direction. God, here we go. A strategic direction to make this kind of game. Leisure told PC Gamer. So if Bloodlines 2, God willing, is successful, Bloodlines 3 will be done by someone else on the license. I feel like they just ran out of steam. That's what this is telling me right here. You know? If Bloodlines 2, God willing, is successful, we just don't want to do anything else with it. This is not our type of thing. You don't put that out there before the game comes out. All right? Don't do that. Don't say, it is not our strategic direction to make this kind of game and then come out with that type of game. You don't say that. You don't say that. Be like, you know what? It was a challenge, but we're doing our best. I would say it's a sort of strategic way this would work. In other words, get somebody else to borrow the license from you and redo a thing. Oh, speaking of which, bro, I was right. You mentioned this the other day. Hold up. All right, remember Lost in Random? All right, Lost in Random. And then we got the other Lost in Random. They're making another Lost in Random, right? Here's the interesting thing about that. I did like Lost in Random, but it was published by Electronic Arts, who can go the hell, okay? Because they treated American McGee like shit, okay? And they put this out, and it wasn't a bad game, so it's no issues with Zoink or Thunderful. But this was their spooky portfolio piece that they went with instead of American McGee's Alice, where American McGee worked really hard on it, et cetera, et cetera. Not that these people didn't do it. I did enjoy this for as much as I played. Next game coming out, they're self-publishing it. Thunderful is self-publishing this game. So somehow they got the rights back to their work from EA. At least that's how I'm reading into this. So thank God, and EA go to hell. All right? So according to this, it's literally being published by Thunderful. So I would assume EA was like, you know what? The game didn't meet expectations, so you know what? We'll let you buy it back for a certain amount of money, and maybe they had the money to do it. So I am hopeful for this, and I'm buying it when it comes out, whenever the hell it is. There's no release date. I don't give a flying dude. If it's a $60 game, I'll just give them the $60. Because I'm glad they're out of the grip of EA. Of course, if I see publisher EA, I'm waiting until it drops down to $5. Okay? I'm telling you that right now. Because I don't want to give EA any money if I don't have to. They've literally vexed me for the entirety of their existence. Thunderful was under the indie side of EA, and they didn't have the rights to the game outside of just helping them publish it. So what about now, though, with this? So who does EA still own the rights to this? Because I got to know the inner workings of the business at here, because I want to know where my money's going now. I'm going to be that person. Go.
I'm hoping something similar will happen with Alien franchise to get a sequel for Alien Isolation. The previous company just did so much better with the license.
Yeah, it is kind of weird when you start doing licensing things. All these different companies just, this company makes an Alien game, this company makes an Alien game, this one. Hey, anybody want to make a Foamy game? Come on, dude, we'll license it. Don't mess it up. Because here's the thing. If we ever license the Foamy IP for a game to be made, right? And it comes out like crap, we're going to let everybody know it came out like crap. And we're going to be very vocal about it. And we will disassociate ourselves from it. And we will sink it to the best of our ability. I'll just be like, yeah, don't buy it. It's garbage. What, dude? I want a game to be good. If we ever make a Foamy game, I want the game to be good. I don't want some phoned in crap of garbage, In short, Ligia, whatever, considered Bloodlines a dead end. Oh, God, why are you saying this about a game that isn't released yet? For the company, regardless of how well it does, which is made more awkward by the fact that Paradox Interactive owns Vampire Masquerade, creator White Wolf Publishing. Oh, God. Elijah didn't talk about Paradox's plan for White Wolf, but it seems as if any future Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines RPGs will be licensed out to other developers. Oh my God. I think some studios do strategic investments, long term things, because they feel that the cost of not doing it is too high. But I mean, I think it's fairly clear, at least to me, and I think to you, even in the best of cases, Bloodlines does not have a super long shelf life because you make a terrible game. And especially with that attitude. Holy crap. Bro, this game doesn't have a long shelf life. Maybe, hear me out. Maybe you make a good game like, oh, I don't know, the vampire version of The Witcher, which has got an extremely long shelf life, but maybe your studio isn't as talented as, say, another company. But if you invested in yourselves and you got that kind of talent, you could have a vampire game that could last decades. Witcher 3 came out on the PS3, bro. We are like 3 cycles ahead and people are still buying that game. Then, when it wanes and people get a little bit bored of it, what you do is you open it up to the modders. And you say, let's go. Let's get some fan mods, fan stories. Let's expand on this. We don't think it's got a long shelf life. What is this, milk? You make games, not dairy products. What the hell's wrong with you? It doesn't have a long shelf life. Was it exposed to air too soon? That's not the way these games behave. You have an influx of players with a bit of word of mouth, and they have a high peak. And then they trail off. Oh, like Skyrim and Witcher? That is what you should be shooting for, is those games that literally stay around for decades. That's what you should be shooting for. Red Dead Redemption type levels. And if you said that to them, right? Well, you know, we're not CD Projekt Red. We're not Rockstar. Well, don't you want to be? What's stopping you? You clearly have money to make a game. What, your people aren't talented enough? Hire talented people. Like, what's the problem? Always set the bar really high for yourself, no matter what you're doing, especially if you're a game dev. Okay, if you're an indie game dev and you want to have somebody falling down a flight of stairs, you know, ragdolling for infinity, fine. That's your prerogative. But if you have a franchise and you can make it good, you got to say, and the bigger the studio you are, the higher the bar should be. You know, doesn't have to be an expensive bar. It just has to be like, we want quality and we want to make sure what we put out is memorable and people enjoy it, you know? No brand can survive forever on low quality slop. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. And I guarantee you, 40, 50 years from now, people will go back to The Witcher and Skyrim, and they'll boot it up and remod and make sure it works on Windows 78, because they're going to want to go back to it because it's that good, you know. But if you're just being like, well, you know, these type of games, what this, I'm also reading into this a little bit, and I'm assuming that they're going to try to make, oh god, a games of service kind of thing, you know, where it's like, oh, there's skins and things you can buy and all that other fun stuff. Not with Vampire Masquerade, but with another game. Hey, why don't we just make a game people just play repetitively over and over again, and then they can unlock skins and stuff and buy stuff in the shop? Oh god. If you can't be top tier, then aim for what you can reasonably achieve. Exactly. You know? It's like everybody has limitations, but sometimes those limitations are self-imposed. You know? Yeah, but I really think game devs should do this. And I feel like, you know, in the case of Uzumaki, going back to that, you have a lot of staff. Okay, there's a big difference to be. Bear with me. In my mind, there's a difference between talented staff and passionate artists. There's a huge difference. And it's all mental and in the hot. Let me get hokey for a second. It really is that a passionate artist is going to shoot to be the next Witcher, right? A talented staff is just going to do the work they need to do and then go home at 6 o'clock. Passionate artists, they're like, you know what? I'll do extra. I can stay late, boss. I really want to get this to look good. Passionate artists. Talented staff. You know, and it doesn't diminish the quality of the talent, but if you don't have the passion and the talent, then you're basically just staff. And nobody wants to hear that, especially if you're creative. Well, what do you mean I'm just staff? Well, you literally just clock out when you clock out, and you don't give a flying crap as what you're doing. You're not caring about the lighting in the game. You're not caring about the character models in the game. You have talent, and you could be talented, but you just don't have the passion to work on this project. And a good game director or art director will recognize that and say, "You get the hell out. You're the problem with this." You know? That's why it's like some of the Rockstar games that come out, like Red Dead Redemption 2 especially, when you play that game, and this is by today's standards an older game, the sheer amount of detail in everything, there's not much I look at in that game and say, well, yeah, they slacked off there. Because whoever was in charge doing the art directing and micromanaging what looks like what, they were probably like, go back, make it look a little bit more better. Make this better. I want this guy to look more grizzled. I want this guy to look more weathered. Fix that texture. That's the person that was like doing whatever the hell, because holy crap, that game is a stunning masterpiece, you know? But if you're just going to be like, well, you know, games like that don't have a long shelf life. Dude, GTA 5? Yeah, it doesn't have a long shelf life. You ever hear of it? No? Okay. And that's the thing. You got to get those people who are like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Let me go back and get in there and make the horse look better. I got to make sure that when the horse defecates, steam comes out of it. Okay? Because I want attention to detail. And they're like, okay, let's do it. You know? I need a steaming pile. All right? That's your job for the week. Steaming piles. You know? And you know what? It adds so much. It adds so much. And that's a game that you know, much like GTA 5, people bought on multiple platforms because they're like, I want to play it here. I want to play it there. I want to play it there. So if you're a game developer and you're just starting, hire the passionate artists. They might be a little fickle. Work with them. Because if you can get them honed into what they want to work on, it's going to be better for you. Get rid of the quote-unquote talented staff that's just there for the paycheck. We don't need them. AI will take over, okay? If you want talented staff, AI will be able to do that. Just save yourself some money. And this is coming from an animator, because we have I can't even believe we still have a passion for doing what we do after so many years. But look, we didn't have to put much time in this background character. We didn't have to, look at this. Can we get him spinning around here? Give me a second. We did like a stupid amount of work on for no apparent reason. Are you gonna do it? Okay. What do you? No, not you. Stop it. Stop. Dude, we didn't even have to put stuff on the backside. Didn't even matter. What, you got the Michael Jackson shoes? All right, I'm kind of having fun. Right back there. Okay, the short of it though is like, dude, we put a lot of detail in that if we can get it to stay still. This doesn't work well. Let's just turn her around and get her. Okay, you're good. Sure, just leave it alone. It's where it needs to be. Move your leg for a second. Yeah, but it's like, okay, for just generic character or whatever, dude, you know, it's like, we're like, you know what, let's make this good. Let's make it look interesting. And even if it isn't interesting for anybody out there, it's interesting for us because we're like, you know what, let's do the brains instead of boobs. See what I did there? Dude, that was the thing. Come on. You know, even little subtle messages like that. You know, brains instead of boobs. Yeah. That's what zombies like, right? Yeah. That's the one thing I respect about zombies. They always go for the brains. Boom, 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 boom. She needs some blood. Well, you know, she's a zombie. Look, she's got the scar on her side and stuff like that. So she doesn't really bleed. That's the thing. Zombies won't bleed because they're congealed, you know. Anyway, getting back to the oh yeah, or you could be a Baldur's Gate 3, you know. Bloodlines did not have a super long shelf life. That's the only way these games behave. You have people, blah, blah, blah. Then they trail off. And it's not the type of gameplay that develops over time that much. Why? Dude, not for nothing. It's not like Witcher gameplay was super groundbreaking. You know? The story was good. The characters were pretty iconic. All right, whatever. So I think that's part of why these type of games are not really that attractive to us. Oh, God. This is before the game comes out.
Destroy them all with kawaii hugs
and
treats.
Who comes out with these comments before the game is even released? Yay, nay, finished. You know? Yeah, these type of games aren't attractive to us. Oh, well, that's good. Are they not attractive to you, or are they not lucrative enough? That's the thing. Is this a passion project, or is this just like a cash grab? What is it? Like, I need to know. Elijah's comments come amid the still ongoing development of Bloodlines 2, which was announced back in 2019 as a faithful successor to the original game by Troika Games. Considered one of the greatest RPGs ever made. It's weird because people still go back and play that. Imagine. Why are they going for a looks like a very different direction from Hard to Why? Boiling it down into more of a straightforward action RPG. Why would you do that? Why would they do that?
Most studio leads tend to not be artists or people who play games, but business people who see opportunities.
Now, there's an opportunity to be better.